everyone. Welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk. And in this video, we are going to be recapping all of the semifinal games for both the men and the women. I'll be recording a separate video recapping the women's games. And so in this video, we'll be recapping all of the men's games in the semifinals. And there were some excellent matchups both in the men and the women. So starting first with the men, the first matchup takes us to Mishawaka, Indiana, where number 3 seed Huntington, ranked 12th in the country, went to Bethel, who was the 2 seed in the tournament and was ranked 14th. And this was a great matchup, and it was the 3rd seeded Foresters of Huntington coming out with the victory here by a final score of 75-65. And this is a Forester team that held the Pilots to under 30 points in the second half. And not just that, but this is a Forester team that held Bethel 20 points below their season average. So a big congratulations to head coach Corey Alford and his team for a job well done. And looking at the stats, first for Huntington, 5th-year grad student Max Gizzi had a really good game. 8 of 10 shooting, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Drew Goodline had an off-shooting game, but he did have 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and 4 assists. And a really good game from Lane Sparks, 7 of 15 shooting, 3 of 6 of that was from beyond the arc. 3 of 5 at the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And how about Landon Jordan? 5 of 7 shooting, 3 of 8 from the free throw line, 15 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So a really, really good game by Jordan. And then Jackson Paul struggled shooting, just 2 of 6, but he was 3 of 5 at the free throw line. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals. Off the bench, Caden Johnson had a really good game, 4 of 6 shooting, 3 of 6 at the line with 1 rebound and 1 block. Cade Brenner was 1 of 2 shooting in just 7 minutes of action with 1 block. And the Foresters shot the ball really well, 53% from the field, 41 from beyond the arc. Free throws were quite a struggle, 14 of 26 at the line for Huntington for just 53%. Meanwhile, for the Pilots of Bethel, looking at their stats, in just 9 minutes of action, James Anderson did not score, but he did have 2 rebounds and 1 assist. Trent Edwards had a really good game, 2 of 6 shooting. He was 2 of 3 at the free throw line, 7 assists, 1 rebound, and 1 steal. And also really good game from Preston Phillips. Struggled shooting though, 5 of 13, but defensively he was really good. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Luke McBride also struggled shooting, but he was 2 of 3 at the free throw line. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Off the bench, Jameer Jefferson played really well, 5 of 9 shooting with 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Colin Comer, my apologies, 1 of 5 shooting. He did have 3 rebounds. Bo Jacque, 1 of 2 shooting. 1 of that was from beyond the arc. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Austin Kripe, 5 of 10 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. 2 of 2 at the free throw line with 2 rebounds and 1 block. And the Pilots shot 41 from the field, so not too terribly bad. 44 from beyond the arc, so slightly better than Huntington, but free throws also a struggle for Bethel. Just 11 of 22 for 50%. And that was your matchup there. And the last matchup, since this is the semifinal recap, there are obviously just the final 4 teams left. And in the second game of the other 2 final 4 teams, it was number 1 seeded Grace Lancers victorious over the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan by a final score of 89-82. And now for the Wildcats, they were coming off of a big upset win at Spring Arbor on Tuesday night in that triple overtime thriller. And the game at Grace Friday night also went to overtime, but the Lancers were able to ice the game at the free throw line and get the 7-point win. So the Grace College Lancers will be facing off against the Huntington Foresters for the Crossroads League Championship. That game will be played, tomorrow night at 7, and I'll again preview that in a little bit more specific detail coming up in just a minute. So looking at the stats for the Wildcats, Bright Curry had a really good game. Bright was 3 of 5 shooting, 2 of 2 at the line, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Griffin Cleaver struggled shooting, but he was 4 of 6 at the line with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Luke Brown had a really good game, 24 points, 8 of 19 shooting, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. He was 5 of 5 at the free throw line with 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Marcus Ankney, 4 of 7 shooting with 2 rebounds and 2 steals, and he also had 6 assists. And 24 points also for Cademan Bontrigger, 10 of 16 shooting with 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Off the bench, DJ Moore played only a few seconds. Of course, excuse me, he was just coming back from injury, so great to see him play. And then senior Kyle Sanders also played 1 minute of action. Jackson Gold also played, although Gold and Moore did not play officially at least 1 minute. Kyle Sanders played for 1 minute. And then Isaac Andrews, 1 of 3 shooting off the bench. 1 of 2 of that was from beyond the arc. 3 rebounds, and Jake Smith did not score in 10 minutes of action, but he did have 2 rebounds and 1 assist. And Cliff Gashumba, in 3 minutes of action, 1 of 1 shooting with 1 rebound. And the Wildcats didn't shoot bad, 45% from the field. They were worse from three-point range at just 31%. 72% at the free throw line, converting 16 out of 22. Meanwhile, for the Lancers, the Wildcats were actually better than the Lancers from three-point range, but albeit not by a lot. The Lancers only were 23% from beyond the arc, but the Lancers shot way better from the field at 55%. And looking at the stats for the Lancers, boy, they had a lot of players filling up the stat sheet. Ian Roush, a perfect 7 of 7 shooting with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Bryson Graber, 1 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. He did have 2 assists and 1 rebound. However, the biggest statistic in this game, or at least one of them, was Ian Scott, 7 of 10 shooting, 5 of 7 at the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 5 blocks. So what a job by that young man. And then Brett Sikafus struggled shooting, but he was 5 of 6 at the free throw line with 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And then Gage Sefton, 5 of 10 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Off the bench, Carter Stolfus, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 that was from beyond the arc. He did have 9 assists, 1 rebound, and 1 steal. Justin DeGraff, 5 of 7 shooting, so really good numbers there. 1 of 2 of that was from beyond the arc. DeGraff was a perfect 3 of 3 at the charity stripe. And then Hunter Walston, 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 4 of that was from beyond the arc. 1 of 2 at the line, 6 rebounds with 3 assists. And then I alluded to Grace, 55% from the field, 23 from beyond the arc, 78 at the free throw line, converting 18 out of 23. So the Lancers were slightly better at the charity stripe. And that was your matchup there. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, the Crossroads League Championship, 7 p.m., 3-seed Huntington at 1-seed Grace. And for Grace, they already locked up the first automatic bid into the national championship coming up in 2 weeks. Now for the Huntington Foresters, with them advancing to the title game since Grace was the 1 seed in advance of a title game, Huntington gets the second automatic bid into the national tournament and potentially will be a host site. We won't know that for sure until the selection show this coming Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the men. And then, of course, the women's selection show will be the same night, albeit 1 hour earlier at 7 p.m., which is obviously, that's what I'm waiting on because it's definitely going to be exciting, I can tell you that. And then, of course, looking at the final, or not the final, but just briefly, the standings for some of these for these teams that are on the men's side that are locked into nationals. What is their record going into nationals? Let's end the video talking about that. Of course, you have St. Francis out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. They finished 10-8 in the Crossroads League. They go into the national tournament 17-12. They do have a really good ARC and RPI ranking, so that's why the Cougars are a lock into the national tournament. Same thing for the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan, 10-8. They finished in the Crossroads League. They go into the national tournament 21-9, and again, due to a really good ARC and RPI rating, they are a lock into the tournament. And then Spring Arbor finished 11-7 in the conference. They go into the national tournament 19-10, and I alluded to when I was recapping the quarterfinal games, the last time Spring Arbor lost in the quarterfinal round, or not in the quarterfinal round, but the last time they lost in the first two rounds of the Crossroads League tournament, they then went on to win the national tournament, so it's going to be interesting to see if that happens. And of course, I alluded to when I was recapping the quarterfinal games, the last time Spring Arbor lost within the first two rounds of the Crossroads League tournament was in the semifinals in 2019/2020 when they lost to Mount Vernon Nazarene in that year. And then, of course, Spring Arbor went on to win that national tournament. Of course, that was shortened due to COVID-19. So, obviously, for Spring Arbor, they're a good team, and they should definitely make a decent run, I should say, in nationals. And then, of course, for Huntington, they go into the championship game on tomorrow night. They go in 24-6. So they're either going to finish 25-6 or 24-7 going into the national tournament, since they're a for sure lock. The Bethel Pilots finished 14-4 in the conference. Huntington finished 12-6 in the conference. The Pilots of Bethel finished 14-4. They go into the national tournament 22-8, and again, a for sure lock. And then, of course, the Grace College Lancers hosting the league championship game tomorrow night. They're 25-5 on the year, and they will either go into the national tournament 25-6, or they will go in 26-5. So that is your update on all of the men's teams that will be locked into the national tournament. So it should be really, really exciting to see how that plays out. And then, of course, we have, and so that will be your, and again, that is your recap for all of the men's semifinal games. And, of course, I'll be recapping the championship game on the men's side coming up on Tuesday, and then recapping the women's championship game from Tuesday night. I'll be recording a video on Wednesday recapping that game. And then, of course, I'll be recording a video coming up on Friday talking about all the Crossroads League schools that made the national tournament, where they're going to be going, what seed they will be, that sort of thing. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And then, of course, once all of the Crossroads League teams lose, and once all the Crossroads League teams lose in the NAIA National Tournament is when I will be utilizing my Spotify podcast website, recapping, doing a brief recap of those games, and then talking about what all those where all those teams finished in terms of records, and where they are projected to be at the start of the year, that sort of thing. So again, that will be your official end of the season recap coming your way toward the very end of March. So, or should I say the very end of this month, since this obviously is the beginning of March. So I hope that you will tune in for that. Now I'm going to be recording a women's video here momentarily, recapping those two semifinal games that happened yesterday. And those were two very, very exciting games, I can tell you that. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that recap. It's going to be really, really exciting. And again, if you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, I should say, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any one of those three options helps me out greatly. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. God bless.